everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Kay here. I'm so glad that you're here to watch and participate in what I'm doing. I'm participating in Margarete Miller's CW Planner Challenge for 2022, which is volume 2 because she had a volume out last year. This is a weekly challenge where you follow the prompts and do the best you can. And I'll link Margarete Miller's Etsy shop down below where you can buy the prompts yourself. It's never too late to start, and you can always just do it in your own time if you don't have a YouTube channel. Some people put all their things on Instagram or Facebook, your choice. This is for week 24, and it says, do you have a favourite song, artist or style of music? Create a collage with this as your theme. Well, I don't really know if I have a favourite song. I have like lots of songs, and it's I've chosen a song that was particularly relevant at this particular time because we have a new party in the federal government, the Labor Party, which is all for recognising the First Nations people, which is the Aboriginal people in Australia, and and giving them more of a say and a voice in what is happening for them in their world. So I've chosen a song called Treaty, which was brought out in 1980 something or other by a band called Yothu Yindi, or Yothu Yindi, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Yothu Yindi was an Aboriginal group, and in the song they have a didgeridoo and playing, and most of the lyrics are in English, but every now and again the lead singer, whose name I'm very sadly disappointed that I cannot say, he's passed away now, and he sang some of the words in his language, and it's just a really beautiful song. So I just thought I would do my collage around that, and there isn't very many elements because it's I don't want to be culturally inappropriate about doing things that are not accepted for non-Aboriginal people to use. So this is gonna, I've just in the paper the other day they had this article about some children who at a school with a unveiled this mural done by the Aboriginal artists, and probably the children helped out as well in the traditional dot style for the Aboriginal people, and the colours that will be used for the earth, because traditionally they use a lot of pigments from the earth. The red, the yellow and the black were charcoal, was the black, and the red was from ochre found in the soil, and I think the yellow was also from different kinds of clays and things like that. So so that's why I've just chosen this article. See, the children here are Aboriginal children. Some of them may not be, but they've wanted to recognise the Aboriginal culture with their mural. And this is the Aboriginal flag, which has only just been returned as a flag for the Aboriginal people. The copyright was sold, but they've just recently were able to win. Was it a court case? I'm not 100% sure. I'm 100% sure. I can't remember. There's been so much happening in the world. Can't absorb it all. But I think they've got the rights to now use that to recognise that flag is for them. The black is for the fires, the red of the earth, and the yellow for the sun. So, this particular boy has got clap sticks, which they use for clapping together to make their really hauntingly beautiful music. I think it's very beautiful. So I'm just going to put that there. Like I said, this is not going to take very long, this collage, because it's just basically 2 pieces of paper from the local paper. I was thinking of doing a background, but I just in reds and yellows, but I'm just a bit concerned about that in the dot painting, but I didn't want to sort of be culturally inappropriate, but I might still use the yellows and the reds as splotches maybe, or patterns. I think it would be alright to do just straight dots around the pattern, around the articles. I think that would be okay. But we used to have, when I was teaching, we used to have the Aboriginal artists come in and do lessons with the children with their artwork. It was really lovely to do that. And as a teacher, we learnt about the Aboriginal culture and their heritage. There were so many different languages spoken by the Aboriginal people. Unfortunately, a lot of them have been lost. Where I live in Adelaide, there's a Ghana language, and there's a young man who is going out to schools to teach that back to the young people from his culture to keep it alive, which I think is really lovely. Now I know if I'm going to use dots, I'm going to go on the other side of the paper, but they used dots because they used sticks to paint with, and the end of a stick is dot-like, and that's where they got the dots, because that's what they used. They used what was to hand. And I think there are still some Aboriginal artists who still paint the traditional way with sticks, but many of them use paints and paintbrushes. I wish I could play the song for you. It's so lovely, but with copyright rules, I don't think I can. I was wondering whether I could play it in the background and say that I was listening to it myself, but I thought, oh, not sure, because it's being broadcast to a variety of people, whether I would be infringing copyright rules. So I'm sticking to not listening to the song. I'm going to write it down for you so that if you ever hear it, you'll recognise it. So the song is called Treaty. It's about the Aboriginal people felt that when the European people came here, there's never been a treaty signed between the European people and the Aboriginal people, unlike New Zealand, where there is a treaty between the Maori people and the European settlers signed a treaty. There's never been a treaty here. So this song is about that. Yothu Yindi. So if you have an opportunity to find it, listen to it. It's just really lovely. There's something about that Aboriginal didgeridoo. It's quite haunting. The sticks, I think they're quite haunting. Have a haunting sort of sound to them. I think it's very easy to play a didgeridoo because you've got to suck and blow at the same time, which is would be tricky. I think you'd have to have very good diaphragm exercises, I think, or learn it from a very young age. Traditionally, the didgeridoo was played by men. Their cultural practices. They're talking about writing more of place names in the Aboriginal language, because like once upon a time Ayers Rock used to be Ayers Rock, but the traditional name was Uluru, which is what it's called now, and that was the Aboriginal people are the ones that do the tours and are the rightful owners of that particular land. I think it's a good thing. And not very far from Uluru is another group of rocks that used to be called the Olgas. The traditional name is Kachajucha. So My family and I went to Alice Springs when our girls were, oh, I don't know. No, I can't remember how old they were, but we went to Alice Springs, and then for a while that's a beautiful countryside around there, and then travel left and right, and just so stunning. I've come across waterholes where you think it would be really dry, and it's just really lovely. I'm actually going to do some dots around this one too. And then on the way back, we had to go the long way around. Oh, sorry, no, yeah, we had to go a bit of a detour off the main road to go to Uluru, and we stayed there for a while. And my husband and I, Tony, had this big debate about whether we would climb the rock or not, because they're not allowed to climb the rock anymore because the Aboriginal people said it wasn't culturally appropriate. So we had this long discussion about whether we would or not, and in the end we did, but we also made sure that we did an Aboriginal cultural tour around the bottom of the rock as well, to get an understanding of how sacred that particular place is to them, to the local people that live there. I can't remember the name of the group of people, what their tribal name is. Very, very forgetful of me. Like I said, I live in Adelaide, and that's the Kaurna people, spelled with a K. And we're going on a bit of a holiday. When you see this, I'll actually be on holiday to an area where it's Ngarrindjeri people who live in that area. So it's just a very interesting history. It can be very sad as well, and very confrontational. Like there was a bit of some of the Aboriginal people and some of the European people disagreed about ownership and what was theirs and what was not theirs, and you know, fighting involved, and unfortunately killing as well. Like there's a memorial in Western Australia, a place where the Aboriginal people and the European people were getting along quite fine, and I'm not too sure what happened. I think there was a problem with one of the European farmers, and between him and the Aboriginal people, and there was a fight, and he died, and as for revenge, the owners of the station went to the camp of the Aboriginal people and shot lots of them. So there's a memorial to that. And I think that's happened in lots of places in the world where there's been a clash between the European people and the First Nations peoples. I bought these textures for, I call them textures in Australia. I bought these textures for, we went through a stage of doing some adult colouring and patterns and things, and just bought them for that, and realised that textures aren't really the best thing to colour in with, because they leave a bit of a streaky, don't look like a smooth presentation. I think that's the word I'll look for. So today is there's been a few celebrations for Queen Elizabeth. It's the second whose jubilee it is. 70 years she's been Queen, and I don't think, you know, that she's had much of her life has been serving her country, and few holidays in between, but I think she's done a lot of work, and her age is catching up with her. 96 is a pretty good age. I think that when she dies, there'll be lots and lots of people who will be very upset. So yes, we have really got winter now, and don't know what it's like where you live. It's really, well, it should be gloomy days and a little bit cold. And when we're going away, we're going to a place by the sea, and the weather's supposed to be raining for a couple of days, but we don't really mind because I'm sure it won't be raining all day, and we can go out for walks and things like that, which is what we want to do. Just walk and stroll and take in the fresh sea air, and just read and veg out. And of course I'm going to have to take some crafting things with me. I just have to usually take card making stuff with me, but I'm expecting my next subscribed kit to come. It's called a Creative Kitten. There usually has a pack of 12 by 12 papers and a whole heap of other things that you can use to make your cards, and I've been using them to make journals as well. So I quite like that, just that border, just a plain simple border. I'm just I'm gonna keep saying gonna. It's very bad English. I'm going to keep it simple like that. I probably should have done this side here, but I don't know if I've got room for them all. But I should really, to finish it off. So I'm feeling a little bit tired today. Yesterday we had our grandsons for the day because they had a pupil-free day at school. And the day before we'd had our granddaughter here for half a day. And it just, not that it's like, it's not very full, sort of like energetic full on, but I just think it's just because you've got somebody else in your house, and it's not quite the same as when you're in your house by yourself. I think that's what the case is. I felt a bit tired last night, and I still feel a bit tired today. So I'm wondering what you've been doing lately. If you've been crafting, reading, binging. Binging is good when you're not well. Alright, I think I would like to just leave it like that. I don't want to overdo it. I just want to keep it plain and simple in recognition of the Aboriginal song, Treaty, by Yothu Yindi. And if you get an opportunity to find it, I'm sure there's probably a clip of it on YouTube. Check it out. It's just, like I said, it's a really lovely song. It's quite catchy, and in there is a really lovely message. Just fiddling around now. I've got to put the numbers down. I've just realised I haven't got 24 down. I might just write it very here, 24. Okay, so I hope you like my collage today, except keeping it very simple and plain. It was last week's, and the yellow week before with tags, and the pinks seem to sort of go in colours, but a sort of eclectic mix of colours. Anyway, I hope you like what I've shown, what I've done today, and please give me the thumbs up and make a comment, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.